Hi everyone, I'm Paul Kankowitz, and this is the weekly update for my 2D PvP game with grappling hooks. I spent this past week addressing feedback from the First Playable survey, and I've gotta say, some of the things that were suggested were really solid ideas. I've known for a long time that getting feedback is essential to any creative endeavor, but what I didn't know was just how impactful even a few points of feedback could be. I want to give a huge thank you to anyone who took the time to play the game and provide feedback. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. Alright, let's dive into the changes this week. Someone suggested giving the player the option to hold on at the end of a grapple. I created a quick prototype and absolutely loved the result, so I added that to the main game. I even took it one step further and allowed the player to jump while holding the grapple, which makes traversal a whole lot easier. You also get your coyote time back. So if you're good, you can even jump around corners with this. One of the goals I have for this game is to make platforming easy even for people that don't play platformers, so that it becomes one of those easy-to-learn, difficult-to-master sort of games. And I feel like this change really helped in that regard. A friend mentioned that the temp grapple line I added was distracting, and that it didn't necessarily need to be the full length of the grapple. I updated the sprite, and really like the result as well. I especially love that the color of the line matches the color of the player. I got some feedback that, well, I needed more feedback for things like jumping and hopping on players. I looked into possible solutions, and landed on something similar to Celeste, which is one of my favorite games, by the way. I made the characters squish and stretch when performing certain actions. The implementation was super simple too. I just set the player's X and Y scale, and then have those values approach 1 over time. I absolutely love the result. I feel like it was a quick and easy way to add some life and feedback to the game. I also addressed some of my own feedback this week. After doing some competitive analysis on similar games to mine, I realized my control scheme was a bit clunky, as it required the player to move their thumb off the jump button in order to aim the grappling hook with the right stick. My change was to allow the left stick to aim the grapple, but the player can always use the right stick to override that if they want to remain stationary while aiming. I also improved the joystick input by using the built-in dead zone functions in GameMaker instead of trying to write it myself. I really should have just been using those from the start. Whoops. Someone suggested allowing the player to cancel their grapple. After playing around with this in a prototype, I decided that should be an option in the game, so I created a temp options screen to allow the player to choose if they want that or not. I think canceling will be on by default, but I would understand if someone wanted to disable that. Alright, that's everything that made it into the game, but there are also some things I tried out and didn't like. Someone suggested allowing the player to control their grapple speed a bit by holding toward or away from the grapple. I prototyped this and played around with it a bit, but I couldn't get it to feel good. Something about it just made the game feel broken, and it took a lot of concentration to actually use it effectively. Someone also suggested adding momentum to the player's swing. I get that this is common in games with grappling hooks, and one of the most common bits of feedback that I receive is, I want to be able to swing. But while I find momentum-based platformers fun, I just don't think that it's right for this game. Just in case though, I tried it out and was able to fling myself through levels a bit, but I take heavy inspiration from games with tight controls like Mega Man X. Adding in the momentum made it a lot harder to control where I was going, so I ultimately decided it wasn't right for this game. Wow, that was a lot. It's been an incredible week, and the game looks so much better than it did last week. Thanks again for all the feedback, everyone. I plan on spending this next week squashing the bugs that have been piling up from all this new stuff being added to the game. It's not glamorous, but sometimes you have to eat your broccoli, you know? Thanks for watching. See you next week.